The member from Parkdale High Park.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Today, Toronto firefighters are watching, not just here, but all over the province, hoping to finally hear that this government will bring in legislation to recognize post-traumatic stress disorder as a workplace injury. This is not rocket science. That's all they're asking for. They have been waiting, Mr. Speaker, 8 long years. My bill has passed second reading and it's been tabled 5 times. I regularly get calls from desperate first responders with no place else to turn because this government won't listen and in many cases won't even take their calls. These firefighters, paramedics and police officers are the people that we call when we need help. But when they need us, all we can say is just keep waiting. How much longer will we keep first responders waiting?
Thank you.
Well, Mr.
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you, Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I know that the Minister of Labour is going to want to reinforce some of what he has already said, but just to be clear, Mr. Speaker, we take the call of our firefighters. Mr. Speaker, we absolutely meet with them. We have taken action based on their advice, Mr. Speaker. I used the example of presumptive legislation. We have taken their advice in terms of the importance of the PTSD legislation, Mr. Speaker. We are working with them. The Minister of Labour is working with them to bring forward the right policy, Mr. Speaker, and to build on the work that the member opposite did in putting together her private member's bill. But, Mr. Speaker, we have to get this right.
Answer.
We only can do that in conjunction with the front-line responders, with those workers, and that is what we do, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you. Back to the Premier. So far this year, there have been 30 first responder suicides because of PTSD in Ontario. 8 years, 8 more years of more suicides. 8 years already. One suicide, Mr. Speaker, is one suicide too many. Labour Minister Flynn promised that the legislation would be tabled this month, and now all of a sudden, we're hearing January. We are far behind other provinces on this. Alberta has had this legislation since 2012. If the government fails to see the urgency in this, I don't know what else we can do. First responders are asking, will more have to die before action is taken?
Minister of Labour.
Minister of Labour.
Thank you, Speaker. Be seated, please. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Speaker. In a sense, the member has answered her own question. The solution she brought forward were for people that have already contracted PTSD. It was a good start, but very, very clearly it became evident that what you also wanted to do as part of a comprehensive strategy was ensure that people didn't contract PTSD in the first place. What we obligated to do, in conjunction with working with first responders, working with the police departments, with the fire departments, with the EMS detachments around this province, was to build on their best practices, so when we bring forward our PTSD legislation in the very near future, it will be the best in this country. Simply put, Bill 2 is a good start. It got us talking about it. It put the issue on the table. It's nowhere near as robust as anywhere else in this country that has legislation. I want Ontario to lead this country, not to follow this country when it comes to PTSD.